All right, guys, so my goal for today is to get a longer cord for the mic. I'm tired of going through this. Guys, welcome back to the Anthony Lee Crypto channel. You get the Farmer Joe look today. I've been out in the wood shop working, and I just didn't really feel like changing. So this is what you get. It is what it is. But we got big news, so none of that really matters. You just have to tolerate it. I could turn my camera off so you don't have to look at Farmer Joe. But at least I took my cowboy hat off and put the Harley Davidson hat on, right? So this is what you get today, guys. This is what you get. Guys, Bitcoin moving up a little bit this morning. We're going to talk about it. The bottom signal has fired off. I was going to give this just to the VIP Discord, but there's actually two parts to this signal. I'm going to give one part here live today because it is huge, and I'm going to give the other part that confirms it. Well, there's two confirmations. I'm going to give the other part just to the VIP Discord, but the one today is massively important. So I'm going to give that out today. Who do we got in here? Let's see. Max, Mighty Max. What's up, bro? Hawkborn, good morning. West Coast, morning. Johnny number 5. What's up, bro? Spyro, nice job closing that copy on stream yesterday. Glad you did that, man. We called for this move up. I told you guys when U.S. market opened, it started moving. I said they are definitely going for the CME gap, and they won't stop there. They'll take out that next high, and likely the high at 76K. Salt Chain, what's up? Carrie Benz, good morning. Eons, glad you guys could join us today. So let's zoom in. Gosh, dog, audio's out again? West Coast says audio out. Is audio out? Let me turn my mic on. Good morning. Let me turn my volume on. So let's zoom in. Gosh. Audio seems to be working on my side. Y'all let me know. No audio? I hear audio. Do you guys not hear audio? Let me buzz Jane. Do we have audio, yay or nay? Is it still out?
Now I hear you again.
Okay, she hears me again. I guess audio's back on, guys. I will get a new cord today. I know. It's just short, and if you could see it, like it curves up. It's not enough slack, so my arm hits it, and it just kind of lightly pulls it out. Moy Marcus, what's up? What is up? So I'm going to try to keep my arm off the cord. I will get a new cord today, guys. You have my word. I'm so sorry about that. I know it's annoying. I know. Anyway, this is the move we called for yesterday. We called for this. It was an easy call. Let's zoom in. I encouraged everybody in copy yesterday. Everybody. Really, every single time we've come down to break even, I've encouraged you guys to close it. And in case you copy traders are wondering why I didn't just outright close it, we have 7 people, or had 7 people in on this trade. I had 2 people told me that they wanted to ride this thing, okay? Like they were willing to take drawdown and asked me not to close it, that they would manage it. And so that's when I came and told everyone else, like, I'm in the trade, but you guys should manage it. And I encouraged you multiple times to take the break even when we came back to break even. Multiple times. I encouraged everyone. But I didn't want to close it for those guys who wanted to ride this, even though I didn't think it was worth riding, because y'all know I'm like, if I enter and it goes against me, more than a little, I'm willing to go a little drawdown. But if it goes really against me and comes back to break even, I'm a big proponent. I've harped on this 1,000 times to take the dang break even. And look for the next trade. So I didn't want to cut them out because they were willing to ride it. So I told everyone else, hey, manage your trade. You should probably take a break even. I said that multiple times. And then yesterday when we were on here, let's take a look at yesterday. Yesterday was a pretty easy call. We had the Asia UK trend was down, so we knew the US was probably going to reverse, right? We had this massive vector and imbalance candle right here, right, which we knew would probably get recovered. And somewhere up here, I don't remember where it was somewhere like that, was a CME gap, right? So we knew that they were probably coming. It may have been a little lower. I think CME was something like this. CME was way up here. So I told you guys yesterday, I said, if you take out this Asia high, I said, then you're coming for the CME gap. That's right when I said it. We had just taken the Asia high right here, and I said it on stream. Somebody asked something about rolling over, that maybe they wanted this. So I said, no. I said, we just took the Asia high. I said, you got this big vector candle. I said, you're coming for that, and then you're going to come for the CME gap. I said, and if you get the CME gap that is above the 786, which is already mitigated, there was a 786 here. I erased all this. There was a 786 like right here. I said, it's already mitigated. I said, if you come for the CME gap, the 786 is not going to hold you. You're going to take this. And I also said, if you don't quick SFP this, and I said very quickly SFP this, then you're probably coming for 76K. Yeah, Carrie Benz, that sucks, bro. I wish you had taken that break even. We were right there on stream yesterday. I know Spyro took it yesterday on stream. So we could come. I'm still not stopped out. I'm still in the copy trade. I'm still not stopped out. So hopefully we Bart Simpson this thing back down. Hopefully Bart Simpson it back down. But if everyone else is out, then I'll just close mine for a loss. I don't care about the money. I put up what I was willing to lose on the trade. And if it didn't work out, and if I lose it, I'll lose it. So it's no big deal. I am still in my short from 75.8K. You guys know I showed that a week or so ago. I've already closed 85% of that. I closed, I don't even remember. I don't even remember. I'm short from here. I closed something like 25% there and another, or 30, I closed 30% there. And then down here at point of control, I think I closed another 50%. So I'm like 85% out. All I've given back from here to here is like $500, which is fine. I mean, I'm up like $7,000 on it. So all good. It is a good trade. If we come out and I get stopped out, my entry is my stop loss. That's fine. But I took a chance at riding that 15% down, and I'm okay with that trade. It was a good trade. Good job. I know a couple of you guys took that trade with me. I know that Hunches took the trade. I think Johnny took the trade. Brad, I think, took the trade. Simu, what's up? Haven't seen you in a long, long time. Bangladesh. Gap fill or high, what's in it today? Gap is way up there. Well, we have gaps to the downside. 3 gaps to the downside, 1 to the upside at 84K. We have this high, guys. I told you when we came up here yesterday, I said I think we're going to come for the 76K high. I said that on stream. I said if we gap fill, I strongly think we come for the high at 76K. There is no 786 here. There is no nothing here. There's nothing to turn you around. There's no reason to turn around right here. If you don't turn around right here, right now, there's no reason. You have an imbalance there. You have a long candle wick. You have liquidity above this. There's no reason to turn around there. And let me tell you guys, if you don't quick SFP that, and I mean super quick, there's really nothing here until you get to right about here, to about 78K. 78 to 80K. There's not much there. So you can see a dip in volume here. So you can hit a little volume gap. It doesn't continue. I didn't continue, but you can see the clear area of support and resistance would be right there where we have the dang red box. So I did add a little red box on here this morning. You can see it. It is above the high at 76K. So that if we do come, because you could just swing failure pattern. That could be all they want. Just ding, ding, grab the liquidity here and rotate all the way back down. That would be, this is the top of the range. You could rotate all the way back down to the low of the range. I mean, you got the extreme low and the extreme high. That's the name of the game. Take liquidity above the extreme high, then come grab the extreme low. So we'll see if that's what they do. Salt Chain throwing a wrench in chat. No wrench. I see what you're saying. No wrench. No wrench. So when we came for this high, though, yesterday, guys, we did have unconfirmed bearish divergence on the 12-hour and down. Okay, it's unconfirmed, but you can see it here. Let me erase these arrows. All right, you see the 12-hour bearish divergence. It's on down to the 4-hour too. So we do have some pretty good bearish divergence here. It's just unconfirmed and hasn't turned around yet. Usually you want to see this at a major resistance area, which would be like a liquidity grab of this. I don't know that we would maintain this divergence if we came up there. It depends on how fast. If you just shot up there now, you could. But if this took all day or 2 days to get up there, then this would slowly but surely come up and mitigate that divergence. So, or you could turn around now. You know, you did have a couple of turnaround points where you're at right now. So you could turn this thing around right now. Yeah. Simu says her mom was very sick, so I've been busy taking care of my family. Sorry to hear about that. I'm really sorry to hear about your mom. Yeah, I know what that's like. I've been through that. Moin Marcus, all the best to her and your family. Yes, all the best. Our prayers to you and your mom and your family. Hope everything's okay. So anyways, we have 12-hour bearish divergence. The U.S. market just opened. Let's go see what they're doing. It just opened a few seconds ago. The Dow, S&P, all that opening with a big gap to the upside, so you could see them coming back to gap fill. Looks like that's what they're doing as of now. I say big gap. It's a gap nonetheless. If everybody is out of copy trade by now, then I can close mine and we can go back to scalp copy. We can make everything back. Just scalping. So load up your copies. We're going to scalp, guys. Look at this big gap here down here on the S&P. It's not over for Bitcoin. Bitcoin could still look. This could very easily, guys, very, very easily come retrace all the way back from yesterday. You have this. First of all, you will come back. You have this massive 12-hour vector candle, not mitigated whatsoever, creating a big imbalance here. You can see the imbalance. You got an imbalance right here. Massive green vector candle. 12-hour bearish divergences. I'm not saying you can't come swoop this high really quick, but you will roll back over and take some of this. I'm so excited to tell you guys the news. Carry Ben's only left $60 in copy. All right, well we can double that $60. Salt chain's ready for the scalps. Me too. I like scalps. Okay, guys, I got the big news to tell you guys today. I'm so excited. We're just going to watch this price action for just a minute, see if they take this high. Let me go back to the daily here. And you guys get on that WorldCoin trade? Guys, that was a good trade I gave you guys. We were looking for that. I gave that to you guys. What a good trade. Let's look at WorldCoin real quick. Go to the 6 hour. That's when we gave it. Got the confirmed Alexander signal yesterday. Remember, I'll let you know in Discord when I bought, which is right here, right there. I bought right here. Of course, I've already sold like an idiot. But that's okay. Made $7,500. I bought right there. Got to move up since I bought of 23.5%. And since we confirmed the cross, the big cross that's been popping off all of these alts, we confirmed that on Friday on the live stream, got a move up of 20%. So you could have, even if you waited for that confirmed cross that we've seen on Fetch, Zcash, Algo, all those ones we looked at, you could have still got a 20% move. You came back and tested the underneath side of the value area low. So pretty easy call there. Pretty easy call. I got out somewhere like right here, I think at like 30 cents, something like that. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I mean, I picked up $7,500. What is that, about 15%? I'm okay with that. And this thing could rip up. You know, some of these coins are doing 60, 70, 80%. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because I don't think this is our last chance at the low. So I'll take $7,500 a week, every week, spot trading alts, and I'll look for my next coin. I'll look for my next coin that's about to get the 6-hour cross. What you don't want to do is get a coin that's been around for 4 or 5 months and 6-hour cross there, because those moving averages are not accurate to current price action or what the relevant price action will be as that coin matures. Find a coin with a little bit of history. Wait for that 6-hour cross. We discussed all of this last week. Let's see if we have any on the list. Tal ripped also. Tal ripped. All right. XRP got a 6-hour cross and a current Alexander buy signal, but this is unconfirmed. This will confirm with the daily close. But same thing, guys. I told you guys watch for these things. As soon as you got the 6-hour cross right there, you got a 3% move already on XRP. Of course, none of this matters if Bitcoin chooses to roll over. If Bitcoin rolls over and heads down, none of these crosses matter. But as long as Bitcoin is treading water, we discussed the Zcash one. We gave you the Zcash one live on stream. We watched this cross live on stream. And we gave you the, matter of fact, at the time we looked at this cross on Zcash, the Alexander signal was toggling on and off, was firing on and off. So we gave you this one, 74%. Even if you waited for the Alexander signal, you still could have picked up another 57%. Let's look at near. Near, look at that, 6-hour cross. Told you guys, look for these crosses. Picked up 18%. Let's look at old West Coast's Chainlink. Chainlink just got one too. Chainlink is under confirmed Alexander buy signal too. You got that pretty much simultaneously with the 6-hour cross. So far moved up 6%. Let's look at HBAR. HBAR has not got, all right, this would be one to look for. An HBAR cross. You did get one back here, but it rolled over. Still could have picked up 6.5%. So HBAR would be one to look for, in my opinion. ICP. You got one on ICP. %. Most of these have already gotten them. HBAR has not, though. Cardano, could wait on Cardano's signal too. Cardano does not have the cross, nor does it have the Alexander signal yet. Yes. Yes. Good question, West Coast. Alexander, let's see. Boom. You add alert. I have alerts on mine. Not on Cardano. Let's see. Have alert on WorldCoin. You go here and go to the triple dots and add alert. And then you can select here it doesn't matter what interval you set it on, because the alert's going to fire when the alert fires. It just has to be lower than the daily. You will not get an alert. You will not get a signal on the daily or above. Even though the signal fires, it just doesn't display. And we've covered that. But you could select here to buy alert or sell alert. And I have mine on both. And I put it, I always do these open-ended alerts so it never expires. And I put once per bar. Not only once, because then you're only going to get once. I put once per bar. That way, every single time for the life of me trading, you get an Alexander signal on that coin. You'll get the signal to fire. But if you select only once, it's just going to go once, and you have to reset it every time. I don't want that. Not for a signal like this. If I'm looking for something specific on a coin, like it's crossing a price level or something, I might only want it once because it can ding, 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 and I don't want that. But this Alexander signal is so rare. I mean, you know, I say rare. You may get it once a month, once every few months. It's not going to bother me if it dings twice in 1 month. You know what I mean? But yeah, great question. Fetch moving down a little bit today. Got the cross to the downside. Confirmed Alexander sell signal. It's under an unconfirmed buy signal, which means just trying to claw back. Trying to claw back. Bitcoin going for the high, guys. Trying to go for the high. You're welcome, bro. You're welcome. All right, let's look at Bitcoin. By the way, yesterday also you didn't get expansion on the daily time frame on Bjorn, but you did get, boom. Volatility was headed down. You got volatility that curved back to the upside yesterday. It was stochastic to the upside, gave you the big nice pump yesterday. You guys aren't watching Bjorn and you're missing out. It tells you everything you need to know, especially when you're looking at something like the 4 hour and up, really 90-minute and up. But for the bigger moves like yesterday, a move of almost $5,000, 4 hour and up. But when you get a daily like that, the volatility is headed down, headed down, headed down, headed down. And what happened when volatility was headed down? Let's look at that. What happened over the times? I mean, yeah, there's some decent sized candles, but really, you were, during the time that it was headed down, you were just going sideways, right? And all of a sudden it ticks up. Well, okay, it ticks up. That doesn't mean you're going up. Then you look at direction of stochastic when it ticked up, which was up, and you got the big blue candle there, right? So no longer sideways when volatility is headed down. Now you got a big explosive move, and it could have went to the downside if stochastic had been headed down. So watch Bjorn. You guys, if you're not watching Bjorn, you're missing out. If nothing else, they help you decide, like right here, if you're watching Bjorn yesterday and you were in a short trade, and you saw volatility tick up on the daily with stochastic headed up and you're in a short, that would have told you close your short trade immediately. Immediately. And this occurred at the very bottom here, so you could have got out of this at about 70.8K if you were watching Bjorn. Which this is when I was yelling at everybody, you might want to close your copy, might want to close your copy. This was live on stream yesterday. Bitcoin trying to break 75K. What is the high at 75.9, right at 76? Probably going to take it. Probably going to take it here pretty quick. Possibly a really good shorting opportunity here, guys, if you take it. If you take that high, you should have some really nice divergences here. As long as you quick SFP it, this could be a big trade down. Let's go back to that daily, though. Not Bjorn, but let's look at Cypher, okay? Interesting here. Interesting. So, Cypher's been in the red on money flow, right? Right? All right. This is on the daily time frame. A few days ago, we crossed over into the green, okay? Now, this is unconfirmed because it's daily and we're on the current day. But today, you have clicked back into the red. Now, this could easily flip back green and continue on up, okay? But as of now, you have toggled back into the red. So this could be a money flow fake out. Maybe not. It is unconfirmed. It will not confirm until the daily close today, okay? But what that could look like, which we'll go look at another example, but you had this big move down, hit the green, and fake out. You could come back in for some more, okay? Which would equal more downside. Of course, you could swoop that high and then come down, all right? So what happened last time we got that? Because this is not brand new. All right, so we got the same exact thing right here. Boom. Okay. You can see we got I'm going somewhere with this. We had the money flow deep in the red, got to move up into the green, which gave us the big blue candle up here, right? And then we faked out a day or two later right back into the red, okay? And as you can see, that gave us a nice move down right there of about $5,700, 6%, okay? 6%. And then you went back in the green and came and took the high. So this is unconfirmed, okay? It is unconfirmed, but it looks like it's trying, okay? And what happened when we get that money flow fake out into the red, we actually came up and took the high. That's all they wanted. Swing failure pattern of the high, move down 6%. You could see something very, very, very similar here, guys. They could come take this high at 76K, swing failure pattern, money flow fake out back into the red. What would 6% down from that be? Take it right back down to back test the value area high. Either way, this is unconfirmed until the daily close, okay? We're just speculating now, but just note that it is there. But it could easily toggle right back into the green. That's a fetch alert. Fetch trying to claw up out of there. Sorry, guys, I'm still a little under the weather. Ooh, Bitcoin popping up. This is that 845 move, guys. 845 move. Going for the high, guys. This is the move we called for yesterday on stream. They're going to take it. There's no way they front run it. If you are looking to trade, guys, watch for the swoop of this high. Watch for the swoop of this high. And quick swing failure pattern. I would be loaded up right here, guys. I would have a big MEXC or KCEX trade ready to go. Finger on the button. If you take this high and immediately, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You see the wicks. You could shoot up there a little bit now. You know, you could come up, you could barely take it, and then ding, and come back down. Or you could get one of these where you just kind of come up and boom, boom. You want this, guys. You want this. This could be a big trade. Now, if you don't stop here, we do have the next dang red box, daily naked point of control, daily. There's all sorts of things in this box. I think there's a golden pocket up in there. There's all sorts of things up in there. Let's fib this. I can't remember. Yeah, golden pocket up in there. Daily naked point of control, daily level, all sorts of confluence. It is a really good box. There's actually no confluence here at this first dang red box, so it is much weaker. However, it is very common that they just grab liquidity and go, and you don't actually need a golden pocket or anything else. It's just this is just called a liquidity grab. That's it. Those are my favorite ones. It's great if you have confluence with them like this, but you don't need that. I would be ready. In fact, I am ready. Because that'll stop me out of my trade. How could we have foreseen this coming over the last several days where we've been hollering about taking break even? How could we have foreseen this coming? That is super easy. The VIX, guys, the VIX. Remember, we were up here over 30 for a long time, and in the past few days, really just since we've been screaming about taking your break even, you gapped down massively to the downside right here. So VIX is now back in the comfortable level, the cozy level, which means Bitcoin is pumping, guys. However, I'm on the daily time frame. You're getting to kind of the meat of the VIX here, where it tends to like to hang out, kind of what you would consider probably the point of control, right down in this area. So this is a little bounceable area here, guys. So wouldn't surprise me to see a little bounce here. Excuse me. Would not surprise me to see a bounce. Be ready, guys, if you want to trade. I'm ready. I got my trade ready. We're going to take this high today. I'd bet you anything. Probably here pretty quick. Currently struggling with this little 0.5 fib, but I don't think that's going to hold you up very long. Let's talk about our bottom signal, guys. There's two bottom signals. I want to see both, but I'm going to give you one that has never failed. Now, granted, there hasn't been that many bear markets for Bitcoin, so there's not a lot of history. However, this signal has been accurate 100% of the time. It has fired off more than just bear market bottoms. It has also fired at large macro bottoms, okay? So it is called every macro bottom. Now, by the time this signal fires off, the bottom is already in. You don't hit the bottom and then it fires and it's like, oh, that's the bottom right there. The bottom is already in by the time the signal fires. So the point is, it has never come back and set a new low by the time this fires, okay? Actually, that's not true. It did once, but it was an anomaly that was C19, and you can clearly see on the chart, if not for C19, this would have, I don't even count that. I mean, unless you have something else like that, a global pandemic, I don't see anything else that can possibly go against this signal. You can't even say WAR because we're already there. In my opinion, there is nothing about, and I mean nothing about this WAR that could make things worse unless somebody dropped an NUKE. I can't say that because YouTube will do what YouTube does. So I really can't see how anything short of that about this WAR would reverse this signal. And the signal is here. It is already fired, but it will not confirm until Sunday's close. Bitcoin about to take that high, guys. Be ready. Hang on a second. Let me pull up my KCEX because I'll be stopped out. I'm just going to re-enter if I see what I need. We already got the, I already know, I've already looked. We have the divergences. They're unconfirmed, but they're there. So if we go take this and get the reaction, I'm going to short this heavily. And I'm not treating it as a scalp. I mean, I might take some profit pretty quick, but I'm going to treat this more as a day trade. And when I do TP quickly, it'll be like 10%, 15%. Stop loss above the high, whatever high they're about to set. All right, I got my KCEX pulled up. I have an alert set here too, so if this alert goes off, I'm going to grab my phone and enter this big short trade. Only if we get the reaction, though. I don't have to check the divs. They're already there. All right, back to the business at hand, okay? Let's look. 100% bottom signal, guys. Pay attention. Okay, so I'm looking at Bitcoin. I went to the Bitstamp chart because it has the most history, so we can scroll back to all the bear markets. I have Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, and I have Cypher pulled up. So Bitcoin and Cypher is all that I have pulled up. There's another indicator that also has been 100% confirmation of the macro and or bear market lows. And it does not fire off at the same time as Cypher, but I'm not going to give that publicly yet. I'm going to save that for just for the Discord. But here's one of the two, okay? Neither of these have ever failed, but you know, for those of you who like a little more confirmation, I'm going to give you both of them in Discord, okay? So we're on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin, okay? And what we're looking at is the weekly money flow crossover from the red into the green. I have each time that has happened marked out here. I forgot this one. I have each time that has happened marked out with the white vertical lines, okay? And we'll go back and take a look at them. All right, the first one, so this prior action here, there was no money flow. Well, there was a little money flow, but it was green. There was no red because this was the beginning of Bitcoin. So the first time we hit the red was the first Bitcoin bear market back in like 2015. And as soon as, now it didn't mark the low, okay? Okay, follow me. It did not say, oh, boom, there's the low right there, right? The low is here. But my point is, by the time you came back into the green, right, the low, you never came back below it, right? You follow me? The low is in. That told you, oh, shit, the low is in. We missed the low. The low is in. But you didn't know that. That was first bear market, right? Okay, let's fast forward. So we're coming to 2018 now. You had the high, then you came down. You had the bear market, right? Let's just erase this one right here. It's basically pointless. But it did indicate a low. But so you had the red. You came into the red right here at the kind of the tail end of the bear market. You got in the red here, right? The low was set right here. By the time you came back into the green, your first move back into the green, right? You follow me? Your first move back into the green. Just trace it up. Right there. So the low is already in, right? Okay, I'm not saying this told you that's the low. This candle, this weekly candle was the low. No. I'm telling you by the time you came back into the green from the bear market red, the low was in. You never revisited it. Okay, that was it. It was up only. Now some chop, right? But you never revisited the low. The low of the bear market was in. So fast forward 2021, 2022 bear market here. Come down. You set the low right there. You get the green cross there. So the low is already in. You didn't know it. And I know that that's a big pump up before that. But it doesn't matter. This was your confirmation. As soon as you cross back over, the low was in. Okay? Now, so this did call the bear market low. Okay, let you know the bear market low was already in. Where I told you it was a failure was, we had to go back. It didn't fail the bear market low, but each of these also marks a macro low. So normally this would have been a macro low because you came back into the red here and you came back into the green. But when you came back into the red, you still didn't come take out the bear market low, right? You follow me? But you came back into the red here and then back into the green. And so you started to move up and out, and then you had that COVID week. Woof. And then you continued on back up. But if not for that C19 announcement, this doesn't happen, period, right? It doesn't happen. Again, it still didn't come take out the bear market low. So the first crossover here, the very first crossover here, still called the low. Okay, you follow me? Just as far as calling the macro low, this was the only failure there was. And again, that was worldwide global pandemic, okay? One weekly candle and then right back to it, okay? So here we are, we're in 2022, same thing. You set the low. And here, this is a great example. Set the low. By the time you get the green, the low is already in. You didn't realize it. But then you got the fake out here back into the red, right? So this is the difference between fake out back into the red and then continuing up versus pandemic C19 fake out into the red. You got a little fake out into the red, but nothing happened. You just kind of went sideways and then continued on up, right? Nothing happened. So here we are. We're in a bear market, right? We got the move into the red. Well, looky. On this current week, we got the move back into the green. We got the move back into the green. It is not confirmed, okay? I have seen these things toggle on and off 1,000 times within every time frame imaginable. You can sit here and watch the 1 minute and watch it blink green, red, green, red, green, red all day long, okay? It doesn't confirm until that candle closes, and this candle will not close until Sunday's close. Okay? Now, this could easily, if Bitcoin starts rolling down today, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, it doesn't matter. Anytime between now and Sunday, at some point it will reach a price, and I don't know what that price is. I don't know the algorithm that calculates this. At some point, this will flip back red, okay, even for this current week. So for those of you wanting to see another low, this has to flip back red this week. You have to be praying for downside movement. Otherwise, and again, just because it's 100% doesn't mean it's always going to be 100%. This could certainly be the first time this ever fails. But guys, we harp about this all the time. Never, ever, ever, not financial advice, but never, ever, ever bet against 100% stats. If you're going to bet against a stat, bet against a 50-50 or lower, right? Never bet against your 90 and 100% stats. It's 100% for a reason. It has never been wrong, right? Doesn't mean it's always never. Can you say that? Always never? Going to be wrong? But as of now, it's never been wrong, and it is toggled green. The signal is firing unconfirmed. I can't stress that enough. Some of you out there right now loading up your bags, getting into your Kraken, about to load up and everything. And this certainly doesn't mean that the low is in for, even if it confirms, it does not mean, hear me guys, even if it confirms, it does not mean the low is in for your altcoins. Some of your altcoins very likely will still continue down even if the low is in for Bitcoin. Like, if the low is in for Bitcoin, let's just say if. The low is in for Bitcoin is bull market time, right? Unlikely, but if. Bitcoin's not going to go straight up. It's going to go a little, it's going to come down, it's going to go, and on these little come downs, your alts are just going to go, most of them. So the low is probably not in for most alts. Also, let's go back to the daily. I will say that even if this confirms, okay, that means the low is 60K, 59K, whatever it was. That is the low, period. It would have to prove me wrong because I will never bet against a 100% stat, right? But I still don't think everybody gets to run away with this. I still think they would do something like this, swoopity-loop, and then go grabbing at least this stuff, if not taking that out, because that would then mitigate the 100% stat, which could happen. It can happen. I acknowledge it can happen. But I'm not going to bet against it. So if it started to move down, I would bet and trade to take this. All these relatively equal lows, but just I would think we would come here, swing failure pattern that, and not actually take the 59K low. It's pretty interesting, guys. And look, as Bitcoin moves up here, you look, perfect example right here. Look, this daily, look how this is toggling on and off on the daily, the green and red. Watch, it'll do it again. It'll do it again. Watch it. Give it just a second while I clear this up a little. I say it'll do it. I just saw it do it twice. But if it does it, you'll see it could do the same thing on the weekly, and it could toggle right back to red. But what you want to see on this daily is this daily. There it goes. See that? See that? See us flipping. There it goes. You want to see, there it goes again. See? That same thing can happen for the weekly, and it can wind up closing red, and all this is for nothing. Right? Even if that does happen, you know next month or 2 months or 3 months or 6 months from now, when it does confirm in the green, you're going to know that the bottom is already in. Okay? And there's another confirmation signal I'm going to give you in Discord too. So if you have both of them, you can, for those of you that are like, oh, but what if this is the time? Well, maybe this is the time that it gets invalidated, but what are the odds of two 100% stats getting invalidated? So I'm going to give you the other one so you can have confluence for those of you that like the extra confluence. I'm going to give you that in Discord. Anyway, what you want to see is this daily stay in the red and confirm, okay? Because obviously the daily is going to bleed over to the weekly, just like the 1 minute's going to bleed to the 5 minute, to the hourly, to the 4, you know what I mean? So you want to see this start to wind back down between now and Sunday, because that should mean that price is coming down, right? Should mean price is coming down. Which is going to drag that weekly back down into the red. That is what I want, because I want another shot at these lows. I want another shot at 14-cent fetch. I want another shot at catching the bitty bottom of Bitcoin. And I think that's what we'll get. Can we run a little higher here? Sure we can. But I just don't think the bear market is over. It could be. It could be. It's massively fast if so. We were looking for a bottom in March. If you remember correctly, we called for a bottom in March. We just didn't call for 60K to be the bottom, but we did call for the bottom in March based upon our sped up calendar because we have the Shemitah coming up that people are overlooking. So we did call for a bottom in March. I just didn't think we got it. And I still don't know that we got it yet. I will know that we got it if this weekly closes green. I will say to you, we were correct about the bottom coming in March, but we were just wrong about the price. And even though, and what I will do at that point is wait. Even though some alts can come significantly down, I will wait. And I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you my plan. When Bitcoin comes and swoops, at least this, probably that key level, it's going to come take these. But at least the key level, right? Somewhere right in, when Bitcoin price comes somewhere right in here between 62 and 64K-ish, I will look to load up my altcoin bags, whatever price they are. And if I'm wrong, and the first time in history this gets mitigated on the weekly, then I'm just going to have to round trip those bags down a little further, okay? And I'll be okay with that. These are almost all of these alts are at phenomenal prices, phenomenal discounts, almost all of them. There's a few of them you shouldn't touch, like Zcash, Monero, not financial advice, that are not down 95% like most of them, but this is how I'm playing it, guys. Everything rides on the Sunday close, in my opinion. Any questions about that, guys? It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty straightforward. Don't look at this time frame. I'm on the daily. We were discussing the weekly. Even here, guys, when you got like right here, right there, where you got little bitty move. I know. Okay, is that audio back? Guys, you will never, you hear me, I will never use this cord again. You have my word. I think I have one in the drawer over there. I just got to go get it. As soon as, I might even video this and put it on a short. As soon as I get done with this, I'm gonna chop this cord up. Actually, I'm gonna go whip Jane with it first. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Working. It's good.
Kidding, babe. I'm getting rid of this cord as soon as the stream is over. I'm so sorry, guys. Anyway, I think I've harped on this point enough. You guys get it? Any questions about this? It's pretty straightforward. I do want to see this fake out and come back into the red. Actually, I just want to see it not confirm. I don't want to see a fake out. A fake out, we've had fake outs, right? Where you're in the red for an extended period of time, coming to the green, fake out right back into the red. That is still the bottom. That has always still been the bottom, even if you fake out. If you confirm this, it has always been the bottom. Always. But again, the shortest time we've ever spent in the red here is right here. Back in 2018 was 22 weeks, and we're currently at 13 weeks in the red. So it would be the shortest ever, which would make sense if we're going to have the shortened cycle in Shemitah. So all right, guys, any questions before we go? I know this is big stuff. This is big stuff, guys. Let's see if Bitcoin took the high. I didn't get an alert, so clearly not. Don't be afraid to take this trade, guys. If come up, you want to wait for the reaction. If you don't get the reaction, guys, this level right here, is huge. You got a golden pocket here, a daily naked point of control, and a swing high. Just pop that and massive move down. Okay, but you could just get the same thing here. There's just a lot of confluence right here. I'm taking both. This first box is a much smaller box, so you don't have to ride much drawdown before you get out of it. I mean, really, if you come into it and reject from there, and once you get the reaction, you have very little drawdown right there. But be sure to close it here, because if you come above this, which is basically this mitigated daily level here, if you come above that, then you are coming to this box here. So there's no sense in riding this drawdown from here to here. Okay, guys, sorry about the audio problems. I will fix the cable today. I will be in Discord today if you need me. We are out of copy, so load up. I'm going to load up my copy account. I might even put in like $5,000, maybe even $10,000. We're going to go heavy copy, guys. I'm going to start making some big profits. I'm not going to put in like $200 and be making, $20 a day. I mean, I might put in like $10,000 and make $1,000 a day, Lord willing. Yeah, rejection from 1% up from the initial 5-minute high. Let's see if it breaks out to the level for the SFP. Yeah, I'd love that. I'm waiting on that. I'm taking both of these trades. I'm not afraid of either one of these boxes. This box right here is so small. Oops. It's literally like a $600 window here. And that's from bottom to top. I mean, if it moved halfway through the box, you may only get $200 or $300 drawdown here and just close the trade and then be ready. Watch for the rejection, either one of these levels. Most likely, if you come here, though, you're going to take this high. But you could see something like this. Come take this daily naked or even the daily, probably the daily level, and then come back and then come take the high. Something like that. Create all new hourly divergences or something there. I would take both of these. I'd take all three of these trades. I will. And one of these will stick, most likely. That's the thing. You don't know which one. Because it could get liquidity grab here, could liquidity grab here, or it could hit the confluence, golden pocket, daily naked point of control. You don't know which one it's going for, but it should reject heavily from one of these areas. Heavily. So, anyway, I'm loading up. Oh, let's take a look at our poll. Almost forgot. Is the bear market bottom in? 58% have no idea. 25% say not a chance. 17% say yes. I'm just going to leave it out of option number 4 that it depends on Sunday's close. It depends on Sunday's close. You wouldn't want to ride this much drawdown, guys, and I wouldn't advise this. But think about it. If the low is in here, and let's say you kind of do like that. Well, let's say you just close right here, 75K. You could technically enter a trade, a long trade for the bull market, and as long as your liquidation was below there, you'd have a winner. It's a lot of freaking drawdown. So you'd have to have something like probably a 2x multiplier. You could probably only enter it on 2x, so you may not make that much unless you put 100 grand on it. I'm just saying, technically it's possible. Have you a guaranteed winner? Nothing's guaranteed, not financial advice. You know what I'm saying, though. All right, guys, be ready for this high to get taken. 2 dang red boxes. One of them should stick. I'm loading up copy. We're going to have big copy profits coming up. Big, 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 big. It's all scalp from here on out. We're going back to the forte. We're going back to what was growing everyone's account. Max is getting his wish. Max said yesterday, to remind everybody, he was the lone voter to stay with scalps. There he is, Max. Scalps. I was making big money on scalps. Never mind the day trades. You're adding money to your copy for scalps. Good. I'm gonna do you guys right on the scalps. We're gonna nail these scalps, and every once in a while we're gonna catch a runner. It's gonna be big profit. So let's do it right. You guys can dang red box trade on your own. But if you do these trades, day trade on your own, I'm telling you guys, just like we talked about yesterday, I'm telling you, and if anybody got liquidated on this, you knew. I told you 1,000 times, but I'm going to tell you one more time. If you get in this trade, any trade, and it goes against you, I mean, it could come up a little, and that's expected. But if it goes way against you, when it comes back to break even, take the damn break even, please, every time. Because even if this had worked out for you and came down, is this roller coaster really worth it? No, it's not. Take the break even. If it breaks down and you would have made big profit, great. You just missed that one, but you're done with the roller coaster. Your risk is over, and you look for a new entry. Take the break evens. I tell you guys this all the time. Not even with this trade. We've talked about this multiple times on stream. Take the break evens. This was yesterday. It came down to 70.4K twice yesterday. Okay, guys, that's it for me. I'm out of here, guys. If you need me, I love you guys. Be watching that Sunday money flow close. So important, guys. Nobody's talking about this. I haven't heard one person talk about this. You heard it here. Anthony Lee Crypto first. Love you guys. The Lord loves you. It's a good day. I'll see you next time.